Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where hopefully this video is in 4K. Let me know. Hopefully it works. I do hope so. Well, we've got some news here where tomorrow... No, this is wrong. Actually, they've confirmed this is an error. It's actually not Wednesday. It's supposed to be Thursday. Thursday, the 22nd of January. There will be an Odyssey Titan event where you can get a perfect soul for Cassandra and other valuable goodies. So there'll be an Oculus Custodian, a Dark Smiles Toast Relic, and Cassandra's 1, 3, and 5-star perfect souls. Beautiful. And yeah, then how the Titan event works, it's going to start obviously on the 22nd. There's going to be 580 points during the first part, 22nd to 25th. So that, let me bring up the calendar. So 22nd to 25th is So it's Thursday to Sunday. So that's going to include a summoning event. Then we're going to have a second part from 26th to the 1st of February. So again, that's going to be from next Monday to the 1st again to a Sunday. So again, that will include a summoning event. And then finally, some points February 2nd to 9th, which again is going from February 2nd is Monday after next Monday until the following Monday. So again, a summoning event. So this will cover 3 weekends, i.e. 3 summoning events. There are 1,750 Eagle points available. You only need 1,500. So you will probably be able to skip one summon event if you do everything else. Probably. It is very possible that they will also be including events for the other assassins within here. I'd expect probably at least one. So I'd be leaning towards Basim or possibly Edward will show up during this event. Would be my... Where's Edward? Would be my guess. I think Bayek will probably come later. I think Bayek is clearly the best. And I think he will come... I think he'll come in it. Wow, people actually rating him pretty low. I'm surprised by that, to be honest. I think he will come probably in a Hero's Path after this Titan event would be my guess. But we could easily have a Deck of Fate, Champion Training, anything like that during this. There could also be a second Titan event during the Assassins collab. It lasts for a while. They could do a second event for one of these champions. But yeah, it's sort of the question of when and where will they show up. I wouldn't be surprised to have a Deck of Fate for like Edward or something. That would probably be the one that would make the most sense to me. A Deck of Fate for Edward, because he is so good with Ezio and Cassandra in the sense that he provides Perfect Veil for other assassins. Now, Bayek doesn't care. Basim provides it for himself. Edward, he provides it for Cassandra and Ezio, who both really want Perfect Veil but can't get it for themselves. I think it would make sense to run an event for Edward pretty close to people actually getting Ezio and Cassandra. We'll see. So that's my guess, but it is a guess. We just simply don't know. So yeah, I would say, let's say the first summon event comes up this weekend and Edward is not involved. That might be a good one to skip, right? And say, you don't want to do a summon event this weekend, a summon event the second weekend, and then it comes to the third weekend and you're like, I really want to skip this summon event. I'm out of shards. I don't want to do it. And they go, surprise, this is the weekend that has a guaranteed champion in it. Not guaranteed that could happen, but it might. So that would be my warning to you. But yeah, it's going to go across multiple events. Now, how good are these actual rewards, though? Let's take a look. Let's look at the relics first. Then we'll talk about Cassandra. So these are from the event, the Wings of Winter event. Dark Smiles Toast is the epic. This shouldn't be too bad to get. HP, some accuracy, speed if you get it to really high rank. Whenever the wearer's turn meter is filled by a skill, heals them by a portion of their max HP once per turn. This one, I think it's fine. Nice little survivability thing. I think it's okay. Nothing too special. It's decent. It's useful, but not amazing, probably. There might be some... It's probably worth keeping. Definitely one of them would be pretty helpful, right, to get in case there are some really broken combinations with any given champion. I've not seen anything really broken with this, but I'm sure there might be some out there. Unfortunately, a lot of the value is locked behind level 5 and level 6, and I just think... Who has the resources to put an epic relic up to level 5 and level 6? Like, you probably have a ton of legendaries. You might have a mythical if you're lucky to put up to level 5 or 6 already. Like, where are you getting the basalt? Where are you getting the starstone to actually upgrade this thing to make it that effective? Like, I'm just not seeing it. So yeah, I think it's, if you don't have one, worth getting one. It might be kind of busted potentially for some solo content at some point in the future, but I don't think it's essential to get, and I think it's pretty high investment. So I don't know. Then Oculos Custodian's up next. So resistance, speed, and HP. The stats are great, really good. Removes all debuffs from the wearer when they lose 70% or more HP. Again, this one is pretty weighted, unfortunately, towards level 4, 5, and 6 is where a lot of the value comes in terms of the effect. The effect is kind of pants. The effect kind of sucks. I think this is okay. This is like decent against some bosses and stuff like that, but again, it's not a must-have relic. There's not that many relics with resistance. That's always good. It's always good to have for building someone with high resist, and it comes with secondary stat speed, which is literally a perfect combination. You don't get better stats than this for a champion who's looking to build resistance. Like, these are the 3 stats that you're typically focused on above everything else. The gem socket's kind of bad. Like, square's pretty rubbish. These are okay. But like, I guess you have starting strength. It's not bad. Some resistance at the start of the fight. That's kind of cool. But they're more like debuffer relics. More about accuracy. Like, there's some reviver stuff in there as well, I suppose. So yeah, like, I think it's a fine relic. Again, I think it's a decent one. It's not a must-have. It's not the best of the best, but it's solid. Slap it on any tanky reviver who's stacking resistance, and it's going to be pretty effective. So yeah, it's okay. Not insane, but it's okay. And yeah, the effect isn't great. You typically want to not be getting debuffs if you're building resistance. The effect is not particularly enticing, I would say. But it's got good stats. Gem Socket, it's a legendary, really good stats. It's fine. Not a must-have. I think neither of them are a must-have, but they're decent. Then, finally, we've got to talk about Cassandra souls. We've got 1, 3, and 5-star souls for her. Cassandra, 1 star is pretty good. I mean, yeah, 1 star for her is really good. Actually, it's probably better to look at an actual champion for this. Go over here. For her blessings, you know, like for a new player, right, getting a 1 star, the bonus HP is actually really, really nice. So Cassandra, we're going to jump right back to the index. With her passive, her second passive, this one here, whenever an enemy attacks her, increases her defense by an amount equal to 50% of the attacker's attack. Now, bosses, PvE enemies, typically have very, very high attack stats, but they typically are lacking crit rate and crit damage, so they don't actually hit that hard, but they've got incredibly high attack, which, I mean, if you've ever fought an event dungeon at high levels and they've got Ward of the Fallen, and like you're thinking, oh, this is not so bad, and then they attack you, and this Ward of the Fallen, Caroso is a great example, just deletes your entire team. It's because the Ward of the Fallen blessing at 6 star scales off of attack, and these bosses have stupidly high attack. So what this means, she's going to actually have, in practice against bosses, she's going to have ridiculously high defense. So any HP that you give her adds up to very effective HP, because each point of HP is actually absorbing a lot of damage because of the defense stat. So the 1 star is actually really nice on her. And again, for a new player, you could grab yourself a Brimstone Blessing. It's very effective at 1 star and be good to go. Or if you're using her for PvP, you could grab Lightning Cage. Again, at 1 star, it's actually really effective. It's giving you a 50-50 chance to prevent your buffs being stolen. Give her Stone Skin. It's actually really nice. Now, 2 star and 3 star, I think not too important. So 3 star makes her blessing a bit stronger. It's good, but it's not a huge deal. The bonus defense she gets, I think she's getting so much defense from her passive, and she's got decent base defense for a damage dealer. I don't think the 3 star defense is really that impactful. The 2 star is quite nice. Cassandra has pretty bad base attack. In fact, very bad base attack, 1343. Really bad for an attack nuker these days. But she is getting a lot of attack from her passive. That being said, the flat attack from the blessing is still pretty strong, and she's got very strong multipliers on her A1 and A2. So the 2 star for attack is really good, so that's what makes the 3 star okay. Now, the 5 star I think is quite good, and she is a damage dealer. We'll talk about how good she is in a second, but you know, damage dealers really want a good blessing. Now, going from 3 star to 5 star, a bit more HP, that's nice. Crit damage is really good on her, right? She has, again, she's getting so much attack from her passive. Crit damage is a wonderful multiplier. It's just very much like Adding HP on top of loads of defense is really, really good. Adding crit damage on top of all that attack from her passive is really good. It's a very substantial damage boost. And then at 5-star, the blessings get a significant bit stronger. Now, she doesn't care about resistance whatsoever, but accuracy is very good. If you don't have Perfect Veil, she needs accuracy. She doesn't have Perfect Veil herself. So it's going to depend on what team you got to run with her. But if you're running her for like Chimera, where she's good, if you run her for Chimera without Perfect Veil, you will need really high accuracy. So the 5-star is going to make gearing her substantially easier and make her much more powerful. And obviously then, with a good blessing, you're probably looking for Nature's Wrath, where she's going to be doing up to 15% more damage. And you got the potential to maybe, I wouldn't probably really recommend it, but potential to upgrade her to 6-star for Crushing Rend, which is just a ludicrous boost to her potential. I think she does scale very well with speed because she's quite self-sufficient with keeping herself alive. So she's actually a damage dealer. You could run crazy fast, like over 300 speed for PvE stuff, and she'd get away with it. She'd actually be really effective. So yeah, now Cassandra, you guys know I'm pretty mixed on Cassandra. I've put her as like a B+ on my tier list. I'm pretty harsh on her. I think I've been harsher on her than most of the other content creators. I do think she's a bit disappointing. I think where she works well is for players. I watched a bunch of other content creator showcases of it. I didn't think a lot of it was very helpful, to be honest, but I did think Cruisin made a good point. Actually, Cruisin had probably the best point, which is going into Chimera. When you are looking to complete trials for weeks where magic affinity is good, for players who don't have Ninja, or who don't have Aphidus, she's very, very strong, right? Why? Because there are trials where you want decreased defense. There's trials where you want to hit hard. There's trials where you really want HP burn. Like there's the Viper trial specifically that basically requires HP burn. So Cassandra helps you a lot with those trials. Ninja and Aphidus are both very strong. I think they're both probably better than her. Chimera probably, but definitely, like for my testing, Ninja vastly outperformed her. But if you don't have those champions, Ninja you cannot get anymore, and Aphidus is a mythical. That is her strength, I suppose, is that she does bring decreased defense, HP burn on a good single target magic affinity champion. She can fill a role for you in Chimera, which is cool. I think she also has potential to be run with really high speed and just be like cycling through her skills really fast. But obviously difficult to do, gear intensive, and obviously that makes it very blessing intensive as well. So yeah, I mean, I still think this champion has potential. I just sort of need to see it actually in practice, really. So we will see, but it is something to consider. If you have invested in her, I think it's sort of a decision point. Like for me, I'm collecting her just because, I want to collect everything. But the reality is, we now have to make a decision. Doing the fusion is one thing. Doing a Titan event as well is a whole other thing. Like now you're really getting into the situation where you're giving up a lot of resources. But it's that question of, are you collecting her just for the sake of it, or do you want her to actually be good? I think if you want her to actually be good, you have to get the blessing, really, the 5-star, for her to really compete endgame. If you're early game, don't worry about it. It's fine. But if you're coming in and you already have loads of damage dealers with blessings, she's just not going to be good without one. So yeah, it's the blessing tax, which is sort of how the game works, unfortunately, where blessings, instead of being something cool that are powering up your champion, once you're later end game, blessings are a tax where if you don't have them, it's not that you're better because you have them, it's you're worse if you don't have them. So that's an issue. I think she's going to end up somewhat similar to Zinogre Blademaster, who again ended up being quite underrated, but like a limited time champion that is, good single target damage dealer. Zinogre's like loads of multi-hits, some really, again, unique stuff. She's been very helpful. She shows up a bunch in some endgame Chimera teams. But yeah, I think you would probably see Cassandra used more often because she is sort of quite a solid generalist. But yeah, I'll like revisit her when I get her on live and get some Argonite's accessories and stuff. I do think it's interesting, like you could get a 5-star soul and you could buy a 6-star for her. Is it worth it compared to doing it for other champs? I don't know, but I think she does scale well off of gear, like particularly because she's giving herself a shatter buff. Getting her into 6-star Crushing Rend is kind of better for her than for other damage dealers because she already has Ignore Defense. And the more Ignore Defense you stack on top of itself, the better they get. And if you run her like 300 speed plus and 9-piece Merciless, yeah, she's potentially going to be crazy. But then again, if you run any champion in 9-piece Merciless, 300 plus speed, 6-star Blessing, they're probably going to be crazy. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of torn on her. But it is sort of decision time. If you're investing into her, if you're booking her up, you've got her fusion, you want to build her, you want to use her, you think she will be very helpful for you in your teams, it is probably worth doing the Titan event. But yeah, sort of decision point. So I don't know. Make your decision now, really, as to whether or not you're actually going to use her. That's the key question, isn't it? Are you actually going to use her? I think worst case, not so bad. Should be great for Faction Wars. So, you know, it's not terrible. Now, that's still months away, but, you know, she'll be very helpful when that opens up. So, like, yeah, she's going to, again, you could just build her fast and with some decent damage, and she'll just AoE stun pretty frequently. She'll make the waves a lot easier. So, no harm. There's not a massive cost in that sense. Like, you will probably use her a few months from now. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on Cassandra. I'm kind of 50-50. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do. I think it really comes down to the summon events, because I can do the other stuff pretty easily, but it's the summon events that are tricky. So I don't know. I'll have to think about it myself. I probably will collect her just for the sake of it and just for making content on it, but it could mean really getting stressed trying to grab like Bayek or someone later on. Certainly Bayek, like I'd be expecting a big shard event for Bayek and his soul, probably a hero's path sometime during Assassin's Creed. That's going to be really expensive, and I think that would be much more useful than Cassandra to most people. But so it sort of depends where you're at. So yeah, we got a couple of days to think about it. So we'll see. We will see, right? I'll take a look at the Titan event when it actually goes live. I'll give you some updated thoughts. But that's where I'm at right now. Cassandra is decent. You can certainly invest heavily into her. She'll be okay. Is she worth it? It's going to depend person to person. And yeah, considering the limited time nature of the event, I think you kind of have to make that decision fairly snappy and be aware of the opportunity cost of potentially missing out on stuff in the future. So there we go. Let me know what you think about it. Are you going for it? And I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.